Ancient Rome was marked by political turmoil, social upheaval, and a myriad of unsolved cases that have puzzled historians for centuries. The empire's vastness and complexity are mirrored in its criminal history, with infamous cases that remain unresolved. One of the most notable unsolved murders in history is that of the Roman general and statesman Julius Caesar, which, although resolved in a political context, left unanswered questions about the conspirators' true intentions and the extent of their influence. Other cases, such as the mysterious death of Emperor Tiberius, contribute to the aura of enigma surrounding this ancient civilization. A chilling wind swept through the cobbled streets of ancient Rome as whispers of betrayal echoed amongst the citizens. In the shadow of the Senate, a figure cloaked in darkness held a dagger, his heart racing with the fear of discovery. He was one of the conspirators in the plot against Julius Caesar, a plot that would change the course of history. As the Ides of March approached, the conspirators gathered in secret, their plans steeped in blood and ambition. The air was thick with tension as they discussed their fates and the uncertain future of Rome. What drove them to such treachery? Was it ambition, fear, or something deeper? The night wore on, and as they plotted, the dark secrets of Rome's underbelly began to unravel, revealing a landscape rife with unsolved mysteries and haunting tales. The tales of these unsolved murders stretch beyond Caesar, weaving into the lives of lesser-known figures whose deaths still puzzle scholars. The young emperor, Nero, for instance, whose reign was marked by scandal and tragedy, left behind a series of questionable deaths, including that of his mother, Agrippina. Each murder carries a weight of implications, suggesting a deeper connection to the cult-like practices that permeated Roman society. As the story unfolds, we delve into the psychology behind these ancient crimes, exploring the motivations of those who would kill for power or vengeance. The legacy of these unsolved murders continues to intrigue historians and amateur sleuths alike, inviting speculation and debate about the true nature of justice in ancient Rome. What secrets do these ancient corridors hold? What truths are buried beneath the ruins? The narrative shifts, revealing how these crimes intertwine with the cults that thrived in a society where religious practices were both sacred and shadowy. From the mysterious cult of Bacchus to the ominous rites of Cybele, these groups played a significant role in Rome's criminal history, often blurring the lines between devotion and depravity. As we explore these dark corners, the story sets the stage for the next exploration into the cults that influenced Roman life, prompting us to question, how do these ancient practices continue to echo in modern times? The chilling tales of murder and betrayal are just the beginning of the mysteries that await. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the ancient cobblestones, whispers of the Roman cults grew louder in the minds of those who remembered the past. The flickering flames of torches illuminated the entrance to the Temple of Vesta, a site revered for its sacred rites, yet infamous for the unsolved mysteries that surrounded it. In the flickering light, a figure cloaked in darkness moved cautiously, aware that the echoes of forgotten rituals still lingered in the air. This figure was Cassius, a historian by trade but a skeptic at heart. He had spent years studying the relics and records of Rome's tumultuous past, but nothing had prepared him for the chilling encounters he had experienced while researching the cults. Guided by tales of whispered incantations and ghostly apparitions, he found himself drawn to the stories of the Vestal Virgins, priestesses bound by vows of chastity and solemn duty. Cassius remembered a particularly striking account he had unearthed, the mysterious disappearance of a Vestal Virgin, Claudia. Her vanishing coincided with a series of brutal murders that rocked the city. The public was convinced that her fate was entwined with the dark rituals that had taken root within the temple's walls. It was said that Claudia had become involved with clandestine factions within the cult, factions that rejected the strictures imposed by their religious duties. Determined to uncover the truth, Cassius had arranged to meet a local oracle, a woman named Livia, who lived on the fringes of society. She was notorious for her cryptic prophecies and knowledge of the arcane, drawing the superstitious and the curious alike to her door. Underneath her tattered awnings, the air was thick with the scent of incense and secrets. Cassius felt a shiver travel down his spine as he entered her dimly lit dwelling.
"You seek answers, historian," Livia said, her voice a low, melodic whisper. "But be warned, for the truth often comes with a price." Cassius nodded, his heart racing. He had studied the accounts of Livia's prophecies with skepticism, but desperation pushed him forward. "Tell me about Claudia. What happened to her?" Livia's eyes glinted like shards of obsidian. "The flames of Vesta cannot be tamed, nor can the hearts of men. She was taken, but her spirit lingers still. The cult's secrets run deep, as do the bloodstains of those who dared to defy them." The oracle's words echoed in Cassius's mind, igniting a curiosity that turned to obsession. He learned that Claudia had been last seen in the company of a group of dissidents, members of a faction that practiced forbidden rites in the shadows of the temple. They were rumored to have created a cursed artifact, a relic that was said to grant immense power, but at a terrible cost. With Livia's guidance, Cassius set out to locate this artifact, believing it to be the key to understanding Claudia's fate and the string of murders that followed. His path twisted through the back alleys of Rome, where the rich scents of spices merged with the decay of the past. Every shadow seemed to hold a secret, every corner a potential threat. His search led him to a dilapidated villa on the outskirts of the city, a known meeting place for the cultists. It was rumored that the artifact, a small obsidian dagger embedded with glimmering rubies, lay hidden within its walls. As he approached the villa, Cassius could feel an electric tension in the air. The hairs on his neck stood on end, as if the very atmosphere was charged with the weight of history. The villa loomed before him, ancient vines twisting around its crumbling columns, a testament to the passage of time and the darkness that lingered. With every cautious step, Cassius recalled the warnings he had heard. Many who entered seeking knowledge never returned. But the thought of Claudia's fate drove him onward, his resolve hardening. Inside, the air was stale, thick with the scent of damp earth and forgotten memories. He navigated through the corridors, every creak of the wood beneath his feet sounding like a warning. Dust motes danced in the shafts of light that peeked through cracked windows, illuminating faded frescoes that depicted the ritual practices of the cult. In the heart of the villa, he stumbled upon a chamber draped in shadows. The walls were adorned with symbols that sent chills down his spine, sigils of protection and curses intertwined. At the center of the room, a stone altar lay covered in dust, but the faint outline of a dagger could still be seen. It was the artifact he had come for. As he approached, Cassius felt an overwhelming sense of dread. The air grew colder, and the whispers of the past seemed to swirl around him, warning him to turn back. But the pull was too strong. He reached out, fingers trembling, and grasped the hilt of the obsidian dagger. It felt alive in his hand, pulsating with an energy that sent shock waves through him. Suddenly, the chamber filled with a chilling wind, extinguishing the light that filtered through the cracks. Shadows twisted and writhed, forming shapes that seemed to dance around him. Heart-pounding, Cassius realized he was not alone. A figure materialized in the darkness, a ghostly apparition that bore a striking resemblance to Claudia. Her eyes were hollow, filled with anguish, and her voice echoed like a distant memory. "You must leave, Cassius. The cult will not suffer your presence. The dagger binds us, but it is also a curse. Beware the price of knowledge." As quickly as she appeared, Claudia faded, leaving Cassius breathless and trembling. The realization hit him. By uncovering the truth, he had awakened forces long dormant. The dagger was not merely a relic. It was a vessel of power tied to the very fabric of the cult's dark rituals. He turned to flee, but the shadows coalesced, blocking his path. Panic surged as he fought against the suffocating darkness. Desperately, he clutched the dagger, feeling its power surge through him, as if it recognized him as its chosen bearer. A choice loomed before him: embrace the artifact's power or escape the wrath of the cult. With a surge of courage, he thrust the dagger into the air, shouting a command in the ancient tongue of the cult. The shadows hesitated, as if struck by an unseen force, and Cassius seized his moment. He dashed toward the entrance, the dagger guiding him through the labyrinth of darkness, its pulse steady and strong. As he burst into the night, the oppressive weight of the villa lifted, but the knowledge of what he had unleashed weighed heavily on his mind. The dagger was now part of him, a link to the cursed history of the cult and the unsolved mysteries of Rome. The city around him buzzed with life, yet he felt a sense of isolation, aware that he had plunged himself deeper into a world of shadows. With the dagger in his possession, Cassius knew he was marked, a target for those who sought to protect their secrets. And as he ventured back into the heart of Rome, a new question loomed. Who else would seek the dagger, and what horrors were they willing to unleash to possess it? The night deepened, and the city seemed to hold its breath, awaiting the next chapter in its long history of blood, power, and ancient, unrelenting mysteries. The dagger's power crackled in his hand, a promise of dark revelations yet to come. The chase for answers had only just begun, as shadows of the past converged with the present, beckoning Cassius to unravel the tangled web of cults, murders, and cursed artifacts. And deep within the heart of Rome, the truth lay hidden, waiting to be uncovered, but at what cost? The streets of ancient Rome, illuminated by flickering torches, whisper tales of betrayal and blood. Cassius, a seasoned investigator known for his relentless pursuit of truth, navigates the narrow alleys, keenly aware that shadows may conceal more than mere darkness. He recalls the last murmurings of the cult, the enigmatic whispers that spoke of a cursed relic, a dagger said to possess the power to summon ancient spirits. Seeking answers, Cassius makes his way towards the Forum, the heart of Roman life, where he believes more pieces of the puzzle lie hidden. The scent of fresh bread wafts through the air, mingling with the earthy aroma of the cobblestones, yet it does little to alleviate the heavy weight on his shoulders. Cassius had recently learned of a clandestine gathering held in a decrepit temple, a remnant of old gods now forgotten by most. It is here that the cult is rumored to convene, poring over texts that may hold the key to both the dagger's origin and the malevolent intentions behind its retrieval. As he approaches the temple, the atmosphere shifts. The hustle and bustle of the Forum fades, replaced by an eerie silence that sends shivers down his spine. He pauses at the temple's entrance, the stone archway adorned with carvings of twisted figures, their expressions frozen in eternal agony. With a deep breath, he steps inside, the air thick with the scent of incense and something far more sinister. Inside, flickering oil lamps reveal a circle of hooded figures, their voices low and conspiratorial. Cassius hides behind a column, straining to hear their discussions. The words sacrifice, rebirth, and the dagger float through the air, sending a chill through him. He knows he must tread carefully. Discovery here could mean death. One figure, seemingly more prominent than the others, stands and raises a hand, silencing the group. Tonight, we must finalize the ritual, they announce, voice resonating with authority. The dagger will lead us to the power we seek, but only if we offer what is required. Cassius feels his heart race. An offering? What could they possibly require? The question gnaws at him, but he remains rooted in place, unwilling to reveal himself yet. He takes out a small wax tablet, quick to jot down notes before the moment slips away. Each detail is crucial. The cult's next move could change everything. As the discussion intensifies, Cassius's mind races with possibilities. He remembers stories of sacrificial rites practiced by ancient sects, often culminating in heinous acts to appease gods long forgotten. The dagger, he realizes, is not just a weapon but a key, a gateway to powers that could plunge Rome into chaos. Suddenly, the flicker of a lamp catches his eye. A figure shifts slightly, glancing in his direction. Cassius quickly ducks behind the column, heart pounding in his chest. Were they aware of his presence? The tension hangs thick in the air as the figures resume their discussion, but their words are now laced with urgency. "We must not fail this time," the leader insists. "The prophecy foretells our ascendance, but only if we retrieve the dagger before the next full moon." Cassius's mind races. Time is running out, and the stakes are higher than he anticipated. Suddenly, a noise echoes through the temple, a clattering sound that shatters the tension like glass. The cult members freeze, eyes darting nervously. Cassius knows this is his chance. He slips away quietly, back into the shadows of the alleyway. Outside, the moon hangs low and full, casting silvery light upon the cobblestones. He needs to find more information, and quickly. With urgency propelling him forward, he makes his way to the nearby tavern, a place known for its loose lips and willing ears. As he steps inside, the din of laughter and the clinking of cups envelop him. He scans the room, searching for a familiar face amidst the chaos. His eyes land on Varro, a disheveled man with a penchant for gossip. Cassius approaches him, sliding into the seat opposite. Varro squints, taking a moment to recognize him before leaning in, his voice low. "What brings you to this den of iniquity, Cassius? You don't usually visit unless it's dire." Cassius nods, lowering his voice to match Varro's. "I need information about a cult. They're searching for a dagger, and I fear their intentions." Varro's expression shifts from amusement to concern. "Cult, you say? The one that worships the old gods? They've been making waves lately. Sacrifices, odd gatherings. I've heard whispers of a priestess among them, one who knows the rituals intimately." "Where can I find her?" Cassius asks, leaning forward, desperation edging his voice. Varro hesitates, glancing around as if the walls have ears. "You didn't hear this from me, but there's a woman, a seer, who frequents the outskirts of the city. They say she's connected to the cult. If anyone knows how to find the dagger, it's her." Cassius thanks Varro, the man's words igniting a flicker of hope within him. He must find this seer and unravel the cult's plans before it's too late. As he exits the tavern, the night air greets him like a cool embrace, invigorating yet tinged with foreboding. He heads toward the outskirts of Rome, where the city's edges blur into the wild, untamed lands beyond. The seer's dwelling lies deep within this uncertainty, a place where shadows dance under the gaze of the moon. Every step feels charged with a purpose, the dagger's power echoing in his mind. After what feels like hours, Cassius arrives at a small clearing, illuminated by the silvery glow of the moon. At its center stands a weathered hut, seemingly untouched by time. He approaches cautiously, aware that this could be a trap, but compelled by an insatiable curiosity. As he knocks on the wooden door, it creaks open slowly, revealing a figure swathed in flowing fabrics that shimmer with ethereal light. Her eyes, piercing and wise, seem to look straight into his soul. "You seek answers, Cassius," she states, her voice melodic yet firm. "How do you know my name?" he asks, taken aback. "I know much that others do not," she replies, stepping aside to invite him in. "But knowledge comes at a price. Are you prepared to pay?" Cassius glances back at the moonlit path, pondering the gravity of his choices. He nods, determined to uncover the truth, unaware of the web of secrets that he is about to unravel. As he steps inside, the door closes behind him, sealing his fate. The air grows heavy with anticipation, and the shadows seem to pulse with energy. The next revelation awaits, as ominous and powerful as the dagger itself. In this moment, Cassius knows that the hunt for the dagger is only just beginning, and the cult's plans are far more sinister than he ever imagined. What will the seer reveal about the dagger and the cult's true intentions? The darkness is closing in, and time is running out. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and unease as the group steps away from the seer's chamber. Each member grapples with the implications of the prophecy. Lucius, a seasoned soldier with a scarred past, feels the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He knows that the dagger is more than just a weapon. It is a key to realms beyond their understanding. His heart races with recognition, a relic of power that could bring ruin or salvation. Beside him, Irina, a scholar whose knowledge of ancient texts rivals that of the most esteemed philosophers, scans the walls of the catacombs. Flickering torchlight casts eerie shadows as her mind races through the legends she has studied. The dagger was said to have been crafted by the hands of the gods themselves, she murmurs, her voice barely above a whisper, and it is said that whoever possesses it can control the minds of men and beasts alike. The group pauses, allowing her words to sink in. Around them, the echoes of their footsteps bounce off the stone, reminding them of the weight of history that surrounds them. They must act swiftly. Dark forces are already moving to claim the dagger for themselves. Elias, a young but resourceful thief, shifts nervously, his fingers itching for the familiar grip of his tools. What if we're not the only ones searching for it? The cult won't stop until they have it, he says, glancing over his shoulder as if expecting shadows to leap from the walls. Irina nods, her brow furrowing as she contemplates their next steps. We need to gather information about the cult, find out who they are and where they plan to strike next. The seer mentioned a ritual, and if they succeed, the consequences could be catastrophic. As the group deliberates, a low rumble reverberates through the stone corridors. Dust falls from the ceilings and the ground trembles beneath their feet. Panic flashes across Lucius's face as he instinctively reaches for the hilt of his sword. We must hurry. There's no telling what else the cult has awakened down here. The urgency propels them forward. They navigate through a labyrinth of darkened tunnels, guided by faint symbols etched into the walls, left by those who once revered the dagger's power. Each twist and turn leads them deeper into the heart of the catacombs, and closer to the secrets hidden within. Minutes stretch into what feels like hours. They reach a narrow passage that opens into a vast chamber, its ceiling lost in shadows. Stalactites hang like fangs, and the atmosphere grows heavy with a palpable energy. At the center lies an altar, ancient and ominous, cloaked in dust and adorned with remnants of sacrifices long past. This must be the site of the ritual the seer spoke of, Irina breathes, her eyes wide with awe and dread. She steps forward cautiously, tracing her fingers along the altar's surface where offerings once lay. If we can find clues here, we may learn how to stop them. As they spread out, a sudden chill fills the air, causing Lucius to shudder involuntarily. At the far side of the chamber, a faint glimmer catches his eye. He approaches cautiously, revealing a small, intricately carved box nestled among the debris. His heart pounds as he reaches for it, knowing that treasures, or curses, could await inside. But before he can grasp the box, a loud clang echoes through the chamber, and shadows flicker at the edges of the torchlight. The group whips around, weapons drawn, as dark figures slink into view. Cloaked in tattered robes, their faces obscured, the cultists emerge from the shadows, eyes gleaming with malevolence. They surround the altar, chanting in a language that seems to resonate with the very stones beneath their feet. Lucius glances at his companions, realizing they are outnumbered. "We need to fight our way out," he shouts, gripping his sword tightly. But Irina raises a hand, her voice steady. "Wait, they're not just here to harm us. They're performing the ritual. We need to disrupt it, or we won't make it out alive." Elias, a flicker of fear in his eyes, nods. "Then we'll need a distraction. If we can create chaos, we might stand a chance." With a plan forming, they work together, Lucius positioning himself at the forefront with shield raised, while Elias scampers to flank the cultists. Irina starts reciting an incantation she remembers from her studies, a phrase meant to invoke protection against dark magic. The air shimmers as her voice rises in a melodic chant, infused with power from the ages. The cultists turn, confusion etched on their faces as the sound of Irina's incantation fills the chamber. Their dark rituals falter, and the shadows lose their grip on the room. Lucius seizes the moment, charging forward, sword gleaming as he engages the nearest cultist. The clash of steel against steel echoes throughout the chamber, rising above the chant. Elias, amidst the chaos, finds the courage to act. He snatches a nearby torch, tossing it towards a pile of ancient offerings. Flames lick at the dry wood, igniting a blaze that quickly engulfs the altar. The cultists falter, their focus shattered, as panic spreads among them. Irina's voice rises, the incantation weaving through the air like a protective barrier. "We need to get out of here now," she urges as the flames grow, illuminating the chamber in an eerie glow. Lucius battles fiercely, his movements swift and deliberate, driving the cultist back as he clears a path for his friends. Finally, the flames erupt, sending a shower of sparks into the air as the cultists scramble for safety. In the chaos, Lucius grabs the carved box, clutching it tightly as he sprints toward the exit. "This way," he yells, leading his companions out of the chamber just as the roof begins to cave in from the fire's wrath. They emerge into the catacombs, breathless and filled with adrenaline. But the danger is far from over. Echoes of the cultists' cries linger in the darkness as they make their escape, knowing that their actions have only stirred the shadows deeper. Outside, the moonlight bathes the city in a silvery glow, a stark contrast to the horrors they faced underground. Lucius holds the box aloft, eyes gleaming with a mixture of triumph and foreboding. "We may have escaped, but this isn't over. Whatever is inside this box could change everything." As they catch their breath, Irina steps closer, her curiosity piqued. "We must open it. If it holds answers about the dagger or the cult's intentions, we cannot afford to wait." But before they can act, a chilling wind sweeps through the alley, carrying with it a whisper of danger. The cult is not far behind, and their dark designs are only beginning to unfold. With urgency, Lucius nods resolutely. "Let's find somewhere safe to uncover its secrets. We need to prepare for what comes next. The dagger is still out there, and the cult will stop at nothing to reclaim it." As they slip into the shadows of the city, the weight of impending conflict looms large. The true nature of the dagger and the cult's dark intentions remain shrouded in mystery. But one thing is clear: their journey has only just begun, and deep within the heart of Rome, the echoes of ancient crimes stir once more, waiting to be uncovered. They move, a determined group on the brink of revelation, unaware of the greater forces at play. We must uncover the truth before it's too late, or we may become the next victims of this cursed legacy. As the sun sets over the ancient city of Rome, shadows lengthen and twist around the monuments that have stood the test of time. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and the whispers of the past, beckoning the intrepid investigators toward the heart of the mystery that binds them. Julian, a seasoned historian with an insatiable curiosity for the arcane, stands at the threshold of the Forum, the very epicenter of Roman life. He glances at his companion, Claudia, a sharp-witted archaeologist whose expertise in ancient cult practices has proven invaluable. Their recent discoveries have only heightened the urgency of their quest. They are not merely chasing shadows. They are on the trail of a cult that has existed beyond the edges of history, its rituals steeped in blood and secrecy. "We need to start with the archives at the Temple of Apollo. Submerged," Claudia suggests, her voice steady despite the chill creeping in as twilight descends. "It's said to house records dating back centuries, including rites that may shed light on the cult's motives." Julian nods, his mind racing with the implications. The Temple of Apollo is not just a repository of knowledge. It is a sacred space once revered by those who sought divine insight. He can almost feel the weight of the unanswered questions pressing down upon them as they make their way through the cobbled streets. The temple stands magnificently against the dusky sky, its marble columns reaching toward the heavens. As they enter, a sense of reverence envelops them. The walls are adorned with frescoes depicting Apollo, the god of prophecy and arts, and yet a shadow lingers, as if the very foundation of this hallowed ground conceals a darker narrative. They approach the archivist, an elderly man whose eyes reflect decades of wisdom. His gnarled fingers flip through scrolls and tablets, revealing accounts of offerings made to Apollo, rituals conducted under the light of the moon, and whispers of a secret society that sought to manipulate fate itself. These are not mere ceremonies, Julian muses, his brow furrowing. They hint at something more sinister, a pact with powers beyond comprehension. Claudia's keen gaze narrows, focusing on a mention of an artifact known as the Veil of Shadows. Legends say it grants its possessor the ability to commune with the divine, but at a harrowing cost. The cult, it seems, may be searching for this very relic to enhance their influence over the city and its people. If we can find the veil, we may just uncover the cult's endgame, what's Claudia states, determination radiating from her. The excitement in her voice is palpable, but a sense of dread lingers in the back of Julian's mind. He knows that the pursuit of such power could lead them down a treacherous path. They spend hours sifting through ancient texts and inscriptions, piecing together clues about the cult's activities. As the candlelight flickers around them, Julian's thoughts drift to the recent murders that have plagued the city. Each victim seemed to bear the mark of the cult, strange symbols carved into their flesh, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of Roman society. These murders are not random. They are offerings, sacrifices to awaken something that should remain undisturbed, Julian states, as he reviews a particularly gruesome account. The archivist nods solemnly, confirming their fears. With a renewed sense of purpose, they exit the temple, the night air sharp and invigorating. The path ahead is murky, but they are resolute in their mission. As they traverse the streets, the stories of the past swirl around them, weaving a tapestry of intrigue and danger. Their next destination is the catacombs beneath Rome, rumored to hold the remnants of the cult's earlier ceremonies. As they descend into the darkness, every echo feels like a whisper from the dead, urging them to uncover the truths buried in the earth. "Do you think the veil is really down here?" Claudia inquires, her voice barely above a whisper, as they navigate the narrow passageways. Julian's heart races. He knows the legends well. The veil, said to be crafted from the threads of night itself, was hidden away to prevent its power from falling into the wrong hands. "It has to be," he replies, steeling himself against the dread that surrounds them. "If we find it, we may just hold the key to stopping the cult." As they venture further into the catacombs, the air grows thick with an unsettling stillness. Faint glimmers of light from their torches illuminate ancient stone walls, etched with symbols that make Julian's skin crawl. He feels a cold presence lingering in the air, as if the spirits of those who once walked these passages are watching. Suddenly, they stumble upon a chamber, the remnants of a forgotten ritual carved into the stone. At the center lies an altar, stained and weathered, surrounded by offerings long lost to time. Claudia kneels, inspecting the artifacts scattered around the altar. Bones, remnants of sacrifices, and what appears to be threads of a dark, silky material. "This must be it, the remnants of the veil," she breathes, revering the macabre discovery. Yet, before they can fully process the implications, a low, resonant chant echoes through the catacombs, sending chills down their spines. "We are not alone," Julian warns, the realization settling in as they exchange worried glances. The cult must have sensed their presence and is drawing closer. The air vibrates with an ominous energy, and the torchlight flickers as shadows dance along the walls. With adrenaline coursing through their veins, they prepare to confront the unknown, aware that the secrets of the past are about to collide with the present. The cult's true purpose is within reach, but the cost of knowledge may be more than they are prepared to pay. As they hear the chanting grow louder, echoing through the catacombs, they realize the time for revelation has come. The future of Rome, and perhaps their very lives, hangs in the balance. In the distance, a figure emerges from the shadows, cloaked in darkness, and Julian's heart pounds with both fear and resolve. It is time to face the cult and uncover the truth behind the veil of shadows. The night is only just beginning, and its secrets are about to unfold. The night air in Rome stirred with an unsettling energy
as Elia and Marcus plunged deeper into the shadows of the city. Guided by whispers of dark rituals conducted by a secretive cult, they could feel the weight of the ancient stones around them, each one steeped in stories of betrayal and arcane rites. The dim light of their oil lamp flickered, casting eerie shapes on the damp walls of the forgotten passageways beneath the city, where the echoes of the past resonated ominously. Their most recent discovery, a series of inscriptions leading to a rumored headquarters of the cult, had ignited a fire of determination within them. Each carving hinted at the existence of cursed artifacts that the cult believed held the power to communicate with the gods, or perhaps something far more sinister. As they traversed the labyrinth of tunnels, Elia recalled the name that had been spoken in hushed tones at the marketplace: Calum, the cult's enigmatic leader. He was said to be a man with a past marred by unsolved murders and accusations that danced tantalizingly close to the heart of power in the city. Marcus, an eager young scholar, had shared tales of Calum's obsession with relics that had brought misfortune to those who possessed them, fueling their lingering fascination and dread. "This way," Marcus whispered, his voice an urgent hush as he gestured toward a narrow passageway that veered off to the left. The air was thick, almost electric, and Elia felt a chill creep up her spine. They edged into the passage, their hearts pounding in unison, a rhythm of anticipation laced with fear. As they catch their breath, Arena steps closer, her curiosity piqued. "We must open it. If it holds answers about the dagger or the cult's intentions, we cannot afford to wait." But before they can act, a chilling wind sweeps through the alley, carrying with it a whisper of danger. The cult is not far behind, and their dark designs are only beginning to unfold. With urgency, Lucius nods resolutely. "Let's find somewhere safe to uncover its secrets. We need to prepare for what comes next. The dagger is still out there, and the cult will stop at nothing to reclaim it." As they slip into the shadows of the city, the weight of impending conflict looms large. The true nature of the dagger and the cult's dark intentions remain shrouded in mystery. But one thing is clear: their journey has only just begun, and deep within the heart of Rome, the echoes of ancient crimes stir once more, waiting to be uncovered. They move, a determined group on the brink of revelation, unaware of the greater forces at play. We must uncover the truth before it's too late, or we may become the next victims of this cursed legacy. As the sun sets over the ancient city of Rome, shadows lengthen and twist around the monuments that have stood the test of time. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and the whispers of the past, beckoning the intrepid investigators toward the heart of the mystery that binds them. Julian, a seasoned historian with an insatiable curiosity for the arcane, stands at the threshold of the Forum, the very epicenter of Roman life. He glances at his companion, Claudia, a sharp-witted archaeologist whose expertise in ancient cult practices has proven invaluable. Their recent discoveries have only heightened the urgency of their quest. They are not merely chasing shadows. They are on the trail of a cult that has existed beyond the edges of history, its rituals steeped in blood and secrecy. "We need to start with the archives at the Temple of Apollo. Submerged," Claudia suggests, her voice steady despite the chill creeping in as twilight descends. "It's said to house records dating back centuries, including rites that may shed light on the cult's motives." Julian nods, his mind racing with the implications. The Temple of Apollo is not just a repository of knowledge. It is a sacred space once revered by those who sought divine insight. He can almost feel the weight of the unanswered questions pressing down upon them as they make their way through the cobbled streets. The temple stands magnificently against the dusky sky, its marble columns reaching toward the heavens. As they enter, a sense of reverence envelops them. The walls are adorned with frescoes depicting Apollo, the god of prophecy and arts, and yet a shadow lingers, as if the very foundation of this hallowed ground conceals a darker narrative. They approach the archivist, an elderly man whose eyes reflect decades of wisdom. His gnarled fingers flip through scrolls and tablets, revealing accounts of offerings made to Apollo, rituals conducted under the light of the moon,
and whispers of a secret society that sought to manipulate fate itself. These are not mere ceremonies, Julian muses, his brow furrowing. They hint at something more sinister, a pact with powers beyond comprehension. Claudia's keen gaze narrows, focusing on a mention of an artifact known as the Veil of Shadows. Legends say it grants its possessor the ability to commune with the divine, but at a harrowing cost. The cult, it seems, may be searching for this very relic to enhance their influence over the city and its people. If we can find the veil, we may just uncover the cult's endgame, what's Claudia states, determination radiating from her. The excitement in her voice is palpable, but a sense of dread lingers in the back of Julian's mind. He knows that the pursuit of such power could lead them down a treacherous path. They spend hours sifting through ancient texts and inscriptions, piecing together clues about the cult's activities. As the candlelight flickers around them, Julian's thoughts drift to the recent murders that have plagued the city.
Isol. I know of a historian, an old man who studies forbidden text and the hidden histories of Rome. If anyone can shed light on this, it's him. But getting to him won't be easy. He's a reclusive figure, often in hiding due to threats from the very cult we're trying to escape. Aelia nodded resolutely, tucking the dagger back into her belt. Then we find him. We need to unravel this mystery before they do. We have no time to waste. With a shared sense of purpose, they prepared to leave the tavern, fully aware that the path ahead would be fraught with danger and uncertainty. Yet the search for truth drove them forward, igniting a flame of courage in the face of the darkness that threatened to consume them. As they stepped into the night, the weight of the artifact pressed against Aelia's side, a reminder that their journey was far from over. With every step, they were drawn deeper into a web of deceit, sacrifice, and ancient secrets yet to be uncovered. The shadows loomed large behind them, but they were determined to seek out the historian and learn the truth about the dagger, the cult, and the dark secrets that intertwined their fates. With their hearts pounding, they set out into the labyrinthine streets of Rome, their next destination holding the promise of revelation or ruin. In the shrouded alleys of ancient Rome, shadows danced under the flickering oil lamps, a group of desperate souls, bound by a common fear and an even stronger ambition, gather in a hidden chamber beneath the city. Here, the secrets of the cult intertwine with the echo of their past, as whispers of sacrificial rites and cursed relics surface in hushed tones. Livia, a once prominent historian now cast aside for her unorthodox beliefs, stands at the center of this clandestine meeting. Her fingers trace the intricate carvings on a dusty scroll she unearthed, rumored to contain the names of those who vanished as sacrifices to the deities of old. This scroll holds the key to unraveling their darkest practices, she declares, her voice steady despite the tremor of their reality. Across from her, Marcus, a former soldier with a haunted past, shifts uneasily. He has seen the remnants of cult horrors firsthand. And what if we're too late? What if the cult has already prepared their next offering? The air thickens with tension as fear seeps into their resolve. The stakes are not just high, they are a matter of life and death. As they strategize their next steps, a solitary figure cloaked in darkness watches from the chamber's entrance. It is Selene, the enigmatic oracle, whose prophecies are feared and revered. She holds a small, ornate box, the very artifact said to have been linked to the cult's most powerful rituals. If you seek to confront them, you must understand the artifact's true nature. It is cursed, and to wield it is to invite both power and peril, she warns, her voice a mere whisper that echoes with ancient wisdom. Intrigued but apprehensive, Livia asks, "What must we do to dispel the curse?" Selene responds cryptically, "You must confront the shadows of your own past. Only then can the relic be purified." With the weight of their mission pressing heavily upon them, they set forth into the night, determined to piece together the fragments of a mystery that stretches back through centuries. Their path leads them to the ruins of an old temple, now a mere shell of grandeur, overgrown with vines and secrets. Here, in the heart of darkness, they discover remnants of an ancient ritual long forgotten. The smell of damp earth mingles with the faint scent of incense, still lingering from the last ceremony performed centuries ago. Etched into the stone walls are depictions of twisted figures engaged in acts of devotion that chill their bones.
Livia feels an uneasy tug in her gut as she translates the inscriptions, revealing a shocking truth. The cult had not only offered lives, but had also sought to bind their souls to the very relic they now possess. Suddenly, a movement catches Marcus's eye. 3 hooded figures emerge from the shadows, their intentions hidden beneath layers of darkness. Panic surges through the group. "We have to move," he urges, gripping Livia's arm tightly. Yet as they turn to flee, a wisp of fog rolls in, and the air thickens with a palpable sense of dread. The figures approach, their whispers weaving through the night like a haunting melody, promising the secrets of the ancients in exchange for allegiance to their dark purpose. Caught between the desire for knowledge and the instinct to survive, Livia grapples with her choice. "We must face them," she insists, her heart racing. "We need to know what they want." As they stand ready to confront their pursuers, the ground beneath them begins to tremble, a sign that the ancient spirits awakened by their intrusion are restless. The cult members seem unfazed, their eyes glinting with an unsettling fervor.
One of them steps forward, revealing a scarred face and a chilling smile. "Welcome, seekers of truth. We have been waiting for you. Your fates are now entwined with the relic. Join us, and you shall uncover the power you seek. Defy us, and suffer the consequences of the past." With no way out, and the shadows closing in, Livia makes a split-second decision. "We will not bow to you," she declares, raising the scroll high above her head. "Bala have the knowledge to break your grip on the innocent." The cultists recoil in surprise, but the leader's laughter cuts through the air. "Do you think mere words can save you? You have no idea of the power you toy with. The artifact hungers for blood, and it will not rest until it is fed." Just as the tension reaches its climax, a blinding light envelops the chamber, emanating from the box Celine had given them. The cultists recoil, their expressions shifting from confident malice to fear. In that fleeting moment, Livia and Marcus seize the opportunity to flee, racing back through the temple's ancient halls, the echoes of their pursuers fading behind them. Emerging into the open air, they collapse against a weathered stone wall, gasping for breath. The night sky, once filled with stars, now hangs heavy with clouds, as if the heavens themselves conspired in their plight. "What do we do now?" Marcus questions, his voice shaky. "We need to find Celine. She holds the key to understanding the artifact," Livia responds, determination igniting within her. With renewed purpose, they set off to locate the oracle, the weight of their mission heavier than ever, casting long shadows over their path. Yet, unbeknownst to them, the cult is already plotting their next move, driven by the insatiable hunger for power that the artifact represents. The night is still young, and the game is far from over, as the threads of fate tighten around them, drawing them ever closer to the true darkness that lies ahead. The narrow alleyways of the Roman Forum echo with the hurried footsteps of Lucius and Aurelia, their breaths visible in the cool night air. Shadows dance along the crumbling stone walls, remnants of a civilization that once thrived, now a backdrop to their desperate search for answers. The cult of Mithras, shrouded in secrecy and whispered omens, has ensnared them in a web of ancient mysteries. As they approach the entrance to a decrepit temple, half buried under layers of earth, Aurelia pauses, her intuition prickling. "Lucius, do you feel it? The air is different here, thick with something. It's as if the ground knows we're nearing its secrets." Lucius nods, scanning their surroundings. Flickering torches line the perimeter, casting ominous shadows that warp the once grand structure into a foreboding presence. "We must be cautious. The relic they guard is no ordinary artifact. It's said to bear the weight of curses that have driven men to madness." They slip inside the temple, the heavy stone door creaking ominously behind them. Dust motes float in the dim light, and the scent of ancient incense mingles with the damp air. The interior is a labyrinth of forgotten altars and faded frescoes, depicting the rites of Mithras, sacred sacrifices, celestial births, and the ever-present dance between life and death. "Over here," Lucius whispers, pointing to a series of stone tablets inscribed with unfamiliar glyphs. As he leans closer, a chill runs down his spine. An inscription hints at a ritual that summons the powers of the relic. This could be the key to understanding what they want from it. Aurelia touches the stone, her fingers grazing over the symbols. We need to decipher this before they return. If we don't, we might never learn how to stop them, or what horrors the relic can unleash. They scour the temple, piecing together fragments of the cult's history. Hours blur into an uncertain haze as night deepens, and the shadows stretch longer. Lucius, engrossed in the tablets, suddenly stumbles upon a reference to a hidden chamber, one that supposedly holds the relic itself. "This is it," he exclaims, his eyes alight with discovery. "We need to find this hidden chamber, but it won't be easy. The cultists will likely have traps and guardians." Aurelia glances at the dark corridors branching off from the main hall. "Then we split up. I'll scout the left side, you take the right. We'll meet at the center in 30 minutes. Stay alert." With a stern nod, they part ways, each driven by a mix of trepidation and resolve. Lucius moves cautiously, sensing eyes on him from the shadows. His mind races back to the stories of unexplainable deaths surrounding the cult, a series of unsolved murders that were often blamed on the relic's curse. As he rounds a corner, he stops short, heart pounding. Before him lies a massive stone door, adorned with symbols identical to those on the tablets. It's slightly ajar, as if inviting him into the mysteries beyond. Pushing it open reveals a dimly lit chamber filled with an ethereal glow emanating from a pedestal at the far end. Lucius approaches, the relic slowly coming into view. It's a small, intricately carved statue bearing the image of a bull, its eyes shimmering with an unnatural light. The statue seems to pulse with energy, and he can feel the air around it crackle. Just as he reaches out to touch it, he hears the echo of footsteps approaching. Panic surges through him. He's not alone. Meanwhile, Aurelia navigates through a narrow passage, her senses heightened. The walls seem to whisper secrets, and she feels an overwhelming urge to turn back, but she presses onward, recalling the whispered warnings of those who have crossed paths with the cult. Suddenly, she notices a flicker of movement in the darkness. A figure cloaked in shadow rounds the corner, eyes glinting like a predator's. Instinctively, she draws a dagger from her belt, positioning it defensively. "Who goes there?" she demands, trying to keep her voice steady. The figure halts, revealing a familiar face, Marcus, a former ally now turned rogue, whose interests have always hovered dangerously close to that of the cult. "We meet again. Have you come to join us? Or are you still clinging to your misguided sense of justice?" His tone is mocking, a stark contrast to the tension crackling in the air. "Justice? You mean the kind that leads to madness and bloodshed?" "No, Marcus. I'm here to stop the cult, not join them," she retorts, eyes narrowed. He smirks, stepping closer. "You underestimate the power of the relic. It's not just a tool, it's a gateway. The cult offers transcendence, Aurelia. You could be so much more." She shakes her head, the weight of his words pushing against her resolve. "I won't let you manipulate me. I know what the relic has done to others." As they lock eyes, an explosion of sound reverberates through the temple. Lucius has triggered something. The ground shakes, and Aurelia feels the heat of the relic's energy pulse even from her distance. "Lucius!" she cries, breaking into a sprint towards the source of the chaos. Marcus hesitates, torn between his allegiance to the cult and his lingering feelings for Aurelia. But the choice is made for him as the temple begins to collapse around them. With a final glance, he disappears into the shadows, leaving Aurelia to face the chaos alone. Inside the chamber, Lucius stumbles backward as the statue releases a blinding light, illuminating every crevice of the room. The shadows twist into grotesque forms, and he realizes the cult's guardians have awakened. Resolute, he reaches for the relic but feels an otherworldly force pushing him away. He calls out for Aurelia, fear gripping him. "Aurelia, we need to leave, now!" With the temple crumbling around them, time slips through their fingers like sand. and the ancient secrets of the cult threaten to consume them both. The stakes are higher than ever as they grapple with not just the cult's intentions, but the very power of the relic itself. As the walls begin to cave in, they find each other in the chaos, urgency igniting their determination. "We have to get out," Aurelia shouts, her voice barely audible over the cacophony. Together, they race towards the exit, the weight of the secrets they've uncovered heavy upon their shoulders. But the relic's power lingers, and as they escape into the night, they know that this is just the beginning of a far darker journey that lies ahead. The air is thick with tension as they step away from the remnants of the ancient shrine, the relic now a distant memory fading into the shadows. The chill of the night wraps around them, a stark contrast to the warmth they felt while holding the artifact. The curse, palpable and sinister, lingers in their minds, whispered secrets that claw at their sanity. Lucius glances nervously at Aurelia, their eyes reflecting the starry sky, yet burdened by the weight of their discovery. They falter, hesitating before taking the narrow path leading back to the city. Each step seems to echo with the voices of the past, urging them to turn back, to abandon this quest that could lead to their doom. "Did you feel it?" Aurelia finally breaks the silence, her voice barely above a whisper, as if speaking any louder might summon the dark forces they know are now tracking them. Lucius nods, dread pooling in his stomach. The relic was not just a tool. It was a beacon. We have awakened something far worse than we could have imagined. As they walk, the cobblestone streets of Rome seem to twist and contort under the weight of their burden. The once familiar alleyways now feel foreign and foreboding, shadows creeping closer as if alive, observing their every move. The flickering torches lining the path cast erratic patterns, morphing the city into a labyrinth of uncertainty. They reach the Forum, where the ruins stand like sentinels, remnants of a glorious past now haunting their present. Despite the hour, a few figures linger, draped in cloaks, their faces obscured in the dim light. Lucius's instincts scream danger, yet he can't help but feel drawn to them, as if they are threads woven into the tapestry of their fate. Aurelia pulls him back, urgency sparking in her gaze. "We can't trust anyone now, not even shadows. They might know what we have done. But we need answers," Lucius argues, his voice tinged with desperation. "The cult that protected the relic, there must be records, something that explains its purpose." Aurelia's resolve hardens, her jaw set. And what if they are the very ones that cursed it? We should seek elsewhere, investigate in the shadows, away from prying eyes. Reluctantly, Lucius relents, allowing Aurelia to lead the way through the maze of ruins until they find refuge in a secluded alcove, hidden from view. The Temple of Vesta, it's said to house secrets of the ancients, remnants of their darkest rites. "We might find clues there," Aurelia suggests, her voice firm but low. "But that place has been condemned for centuries. No one dares to enter. They say it's cursed, that the fires of Vesta still hold power, and it can consume those who seek it out." Aurelia's expression hardens. "If we're to uncover the truth behind the relic and its curse, we have no choice. The temple is our best lead." With a shared but unspoken resolve, they navigate the forgotten pathways of Rome, their hearts pounding as the echoes of the past grow louder, warning them of the dangers that lie ahead. As they approach the temple, the atmosphere shifts. A palpable energy hangs in the air, thick and suffocating, as if the very walls are alive, breathing. Here, among the cracked stones and overgrown vines, they hope to find answers, but they also know that they may awaken long-dormant spirits, or worse. Inside, the temple is dark, the flickering light of their torches illuminating faded frescoes, depicting rituals that seem to pulsate with life. Each image tells a story of sacrifice, devotion, and the underbelly of worship, ominous echoes of a forgotten past. Aurelia stops abruptly, her gaze fixed on a particular mural, showing a figure draped in shadows, holding a relic that resembles the one they unearthed. "Look, Lucius, this must be the guardian of the relic."
Her finger points to the depiction, and Lucius feels a chill run down his spine. And these figures surrounding it, they appear to be pleading, offering something in return. What were they willing to sacrifice? Lucius muses, unease creeping into his voice. Aurelia scans the room, her instincts alert. We must find the texts that accompany these images. They might reveal what we inadvertently unleashed. As they search the temple, an unsettling noise resonates, echoing off the ancient stones. It sounds almost like chanting, low and mournful, imbued with a sinister resonance. "Did you hear that?" Lucius whispers, a tremor of fear threaded through his words. Aurelia nods, her eyes wide. "We're not alone. We need to hurry. If the cult is still active, they might be aware of our presence." The sound grows louder as they scramble through the shadows, their frantic search abruptly halted by a figure emerging from the darkness. A hooded person steps into the flickering light, face obscured, but the air around them crackles with authority and dread. "You should not have come here," the figure hisses, voice dripping with menace. "The relic belongs to the ancients, and its curse will consume you both if you do not leave now." Lucius grips Aurelia's arm, panic rising as the figure inches closer, the tension palpable. Their hearts race in tandem, fear clashing with determination. Aurelia speaks up, her voice steady despite the chill in the air. "We seek the truth. We need to understand the relic's power and how to break its curse. You can help us, or you can stand in our way." The figure chuckles, a low, hollow sound. "You think you can handle the truth? The secrets of the ancients are not for the faint-hearted. If you want to know, you must prove yourselves worthy." Before they can reply, the figure gestures behind them. Shadows shift, materializing into forms cloaked in darkness surrounding them. The air thickens with tension, and the weight of their quest threatens to crush them. Aurelia holds her ground, and Lucius steels himself for a confrontation. The curse of the relic dances at the edge of their minds, whispering horrors yet to come.
Their journey into the heart of mystery, deeper than they anticipated. As they brace for what is to come, the figure's voice echoes in the darkness, ominous yet inviting. "If you wish to understand the relic, step into the shadows. Embrace your fears, for only then can you uncover the truth of the curse that binds you together." With hearts pounding and the weight of the relic's curse intertwining with their fates, they share a fleeting glance. Together, they make their choice, stepping toward the unknown, where the ancients await with their darkest secrets, ready to unveil the mysteries of the past. Thus, their journey continues in the depths of the temple, where the line between truth and terror blurs, setting the stage for the trials that await them next. The air is thick with anticipation, as the flickering torchlight dances against the ancient stone walls, casting long shadows that seem to whisper secrets of their own. Beneath the echo of the figure's voice, a chill runs down their spines. The weight of what they are about to discover is almost palpable. They had come to the ruins of an abandoned temple, rumored to have been a site of dark rituals centuries ago, where the line between the living and the dead was said to blur. As they step further inside, a sense of unease envelops them. Crumbling pillars rise like skeletal hands from the ground, and inscriptions etched in Latin line the walls, hinting at the nefarious practices that once took place here. The group, consisting of historians, archaeologists, and thrill-seekers, begins to fan out, each drawn to different aspects of the temple's mysteries. Claudia, a historian with a penchant for the macabre, studies the inscriptions closely. These speak of sacrifices made for the favor of the gods, rituals to ensure bountiful harvests or to avert disaster. But what sort of price did they pay? She muses, her fingers tracing the cold, rough surface of the stone, as if trying to absorb the energy that still lingered. Across the room, Tobias, the archaeologist, uncovers an ancient altar, its surface stained dark with what could only be blood. "Look here," he calls to the others, a mix of excitement and apprehension in his voice. "This altar appears to have been used for offerings. There might still be remnants of the last sacrifice buried beneath the dust." The group gathers around, their breath hitching as they imagine the dark rituals that may have taken place here. It is Anna, the thrill-seeker, who steps closer to the altar, her heart racing with adrenaline. We need to find out what was left behind. This could change everything we know about ancient cult practices. As they begin to clear the debris, a sudden rush of cold air sweeps through the chamber, extinguishing the torches momentarily. In the darkness, they exchange nervous glances, the tension rising. When the flames flicker back to life, they notice something odd. The altar is now adorned with flowers, fresh and vibrant, an impossible sight in such a forsaken place. "What is happening?" Claudia whispers, her voice trembling. They all feel it, a palpable sense of being watched, of an unseen presence lingering just beyond the reach of the light. The figure that had beckoned them into this haunted domain seems to be guiding them still. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembles, a low rumble that echoes through the chamber. Fear grips their hearts as they brace themselves against the altar, half expecting something to leap from the shadows. What they find, however, is even more unsettling. A wooden box, intricately carved, emerging from beneath the altar as if summoned by their presence. Tobias reaches for it, but Claudia stops him. "Wait, we don't know what could be inside. It could be cursed, or worse," she warns, her voice steady despite the fear in her eyes. Yet the curiosity is unbearable, an itch at the back of their minds that beckons them. They share a collective glance, an unspoken agreement forming among them. With a deep breath, Tobias carefully pries the box open. Inside, nestled within a bed of decaying cloth, lies a series of artifacts. A small dagger, its blade glinting ominously in the torchlight. A medallion, engraved with symbols neither of them recognize. And a series of scrolls, their edges yellowed and brittle with age. As they sift through the contents, a sense of dread settles in. The dagger appears to be stained, not with age, but with something far darker. The scrolls contain writings that hint at summoning rituals and curses, the kind that could bind souls or summon forth unspeakable horrors. This is not just history, it's a warning, Claudia declares, her voice a mix of awe and apprehension. "We should leave. We've uncovered something that was meant to stay buried." However, Anna's eyes gleam with reckless excitement. "But think of the stories we can tell. This is an opportunity to uncover the truth about ancient Rome's darkest secrets." Her voice rises with the thrill of adventure, but it only serves to heighten the tension in the air. The group debates their next steps, torn between the thrill of discovery and the rising fear that what has been awakened should remain asleep. Then, as if responding to their indecision, a loud crash reverberates through the temple, shaking the very foundations of the stone structure. The floor beneath them begins to split, revealing a dark chasm that seems to beckon them with an eerie allure. "We need to get out. Now!" Tobias shouts, his voice cutting through the panic. But as they turn to flee, the figure from earlier materializes in the shadows, blocking their path, its eyes gleaming with an unnatural light. "You have awakened that which was meant to remain undisturbed. To leave now would be to forfeit your very souls." A wave of fear washes over them as they realize they are not alone in this temple, not only haunted by the past, but now by an entity that thrived on the darkness that surrounded them. Claudia, in a moment of clarity, grasps the medallion, holding it up as though it's a talisman against the unknown. "Perhaps this will protect us," she whispers, though she isn't sure if she believes it herself. In that moment, they know they must delve deeper into the mysteries they've stumbled upon, for the only way out now lies through unraveling the secrets that bind them to this cursed place. The weight of their discovery hangs heavily on their shoulders, the alluring darkness of the temple now both a sanctuary and a prison. The figure steps closer, its voice weaving through their minds, urging them to embrace the revelation that awaits. "Turbulence is entwined with the relics you hold. To understand the past is to control the future. This is merely the beginning of your journey." With dread and determination, they prepare to confront the ancient powers that have been awakened, their next choice shaping the path of their very existence. The flickering torches illuminate the path forward, and as the floor continues to tremble beneath them, they realize that the true test lies ahead, entwined with the dark legacy of Rome's forgotten cults and the relics that might very well be cursed. As they step towards the darkened corridor that leads deeper into the temple, the shadows whisper secrets yet untold, and the air thickens with the promise of revelation, urging them to uncover the truth. And thus, the echoes of the past beckon them forward, into the very heart of darkness, where the line between history and horror blurs irrevocably. In exploring the shadowy alleys and forgotten temples of ancient Rome, we have uncovered layers of intrigue woven into the very fabric of its history. The unsolved murders whisper tales of betrayal and ambition, while cult practices reveal the darker side of human devotion. The cursed relics, though silent, carry with them the weight of tragedy and the echoes of those long gone. As we close the chapter on these ancient crimes, we are reminded that history is never truly buried. Each artifact, each story, breathes life into the past, urging us to confront the mysteries that linger. The secrets of ancient Rome may rest, but they are far from forgotten, waiting for the curious to unveil them again.